Welcome to another great week of Spicer and Company. I'm Sean Spicer.
And I'm Lindsay Keith. Well, Sean, our thoughts and prayers are with the Trump family. As you know, Robert Trump, the president's younger brother, passed away over the weekend at just the age of 71, just a few days shy of turning 72.
Yeah, Lindsay, on his way to Bedminster Friday night, the president visited his brother in a New York City hospital right after White House officials said that he'd become seriously ill. Trump released a statement saying that he was not just my brother, he was my best friend. He will be greatly missed, but we will meet again. His memory will live on in my heart forever. Once again, our hearts and prayers go out to the Trump family during this very difficult time.
Yes. Well, Sean, in other news, the mail-in ballot issue came to a head over the weekend, to say the least. As we've discussed many times over the last couple of months, the left and the media have been advocating for this universal mail-in ballots. And now, 78 days away from the election, they're saying, well, the post office can't handle it. But Sean, they knew all along that the system was broken.
Lindsay, no kidding. It's been no secret that the Postal Service is in a bad place financially. Check this out. The U.S. Postal Service has lost $69 billion over the past 11 fiscal years, including $3.9 billion in fiscal year 2018. This isn't anything new. We've actually found this headline from the Post and Parcel back in 2011, referencing Barack Obama addressing what they call a major financial concern from the post office. So why is the left just bringing this up now? To discuss this, let's bring in the co-chair of the Republican National Committee, Tommy Hicks. Tommy, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Sean. Good to be on.
Tommy, I think two things stand out for me. Number one, the Democrats created this problem. Them and the media keep telling people, you got to vote by mail, you got to vote by mail. And then suddenly they go, oh my gosh, the postal system may not be able to handle it. Number two, there's a big difference between the all mail-in vote that the president keeps talking about and warning about and absentee ballot voting, which is a much more secure way where the voter actually asks for the ballot by themselves.
Absolutely. There's a big difference between absentee voting, where you have verifications, where you can check your ID signature, and then vote by mail, which is where you send live ballots to every registered voter, whether or not they're actually still living or live at that address. And we just saw in Indiana, hundreds of ballots were already marked for Democrat Party. And in New Jersey, hundreds of dead people voted. So it's ripe for fraud.
But don't you think, I mean, look, here's the thing that I think is fascinating to the first part of what I mentioned to you. They created this problem. I mean, they literally, it's like saying to everyone, you got to go to this restaurant tonight, you got to go. And they go, oh my God, it's closed. They've known that the postal system is in an utmost failure. It's been bleeding money and resources for decades. It was a problem under Barack Obama. It was a problem under George W. Bush. And now suddenly they're going, oh my God, it needs more money. I think that they did this literally to prop up a system and an organization that came out strong and got called out for it because of their support of Hillary Clinton.
Absolutely, 100%. And they always put politics over people. Sean, you know this as well as anybody.
Tommy, the Senate is out right now. The House, Nancy Pelosi, has just called it back in for the weekend to vote on more money. Here's what I think is interesting. You want to talk about putting politics over people. They're not coming back to vote on a stimulus bill, put people back to give them back those stimulus checks. They're coming in to pump $25 billion into the post office. Not to pump it into people's wallets, to pump it into the post office. Doesn't that show to you where their priorities are?
It absolutely does. I mean, it's political theater, just like it always has been for them. The Democrat Party has not been willing to work for the American people or with this president from day one. I think almost 70 Democrats did not show up to the inauguration. They have never looked back from that. That's where they are.
Tommy, as you know, the left and the media bow down to the altar of Fauci. Anything that he says is true and must be worshipped. But here's something that Dr. Fauci said that hasn't gotten a lot of pickup. Let me play for you what he said about voting.
Can people safely go out and vote in person, given that this year there is so much concern around the vote?
I think if carefully done according to the guidelines, there's no reason that I can see why that not be the case. If you go and wear a mask, if you observe the physical distancing and don't have a crowded situation, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that.
Tommy, I don't know if the audio was an issue for you, but it just said there's no reason you can't do it. Why isn't that clip playing on the mainstream media?
Because they don't report the news, as you know, Sean. The Democrat Party and the mainstream media are partners, and it's all about propaganda to not get the president's message out there, not let the American people know how much he's accomplished for them, and to make sure that they drive out basically people who believe and who are brainwashed in what the mainstream media says. But Fauci says you can vote in person. That's the best way to go vote.
Yeah, I think he's right. You do it safely. I mean, if you want to vote by mail, get an absentee ballot, do that. That's fine. The president's done it. I've done it before. I don't know about you. You live in Texas. I'm sure you're going to do it. But I don't see why this is a problem. If you can do all this other stuff safely, put a mask on, socially distance, and go vote. Most of the time, you're socially distanced anyway, the way they got these things set up. But I want to pivot. Tonight starts the Democratic convention, Tommy. They're going to wow us with Hollywood types, Kerry Washington, Yvonne Longoria, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. They're all emceeing this. Do you think that the Hollywood glitz and glamour and all the production that's going to go on is meant to distract from the left-wing policies that they're going to be pushing?
It's the furthest left ticket in the history of presidential politics, so they probably need to distract people a little bit. But, you know, next week, we can't wait to renominate the president and show what a great vision he has for the American people. It's one that revolves around law and order, a growing economy, energy dominance for Americans. And on the other side, you're going to see a party that wants to raise your taxes $4 trillion on day one. They're for the Green New Deal, which would cost us $92 trillion. Not only that, it's going to raise your gas prices, your electricity prices, and the list goes on and on. We can never pay for that. They want open borders. They want to make sure that we pay for illegal immigrants' health care. That's another tax increase for you and me, the American people.
Tommy, what's the RNC plan starting tonight? I know I was there for 2 cycles. We counter-programmed or did our best to counter-program. What are you guys going to be doing starting tonight?
Well, it's been fun watching the president in Minnesota, and I think he's going to be in Wisconsin tonight, talking about the great things that he can do for the American people. I will be doing an event with younger Republicans to make sure that they get out to vote, and we're really excited. We've got a lot of momentum. We're firing on all cylinders. We're really excited about the election, which is only in 77 days.
Well, Tommy, thank you for giving us an update on that, and appreciate all you guys are doing to get the word out on mail-in voting. We'll look forward to checking in with you hopefully next week, find out how the convention's going on your end.
Great, Sean. Thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it. Still to come tonight, the media, as we just mentioned, is ignoring the fact that Dr. Fauci says it's safe to vote in person. We're going to dig deeper into that whole selective coverage of Fauci's advice by the mainstream media. Plus, the president's counter-programming the Dems convention, as we just mentioned. We're going to ask our guests about the Republican strategy and if this strategy is going to work. And is there any point to former Governor John Kasich speaking at the DNC tonight? All that and a lot more on Spicer and Company.